We take you straight to Cairo, where Kenya's fate in the 2019 African Cup of Nations is set to be determined tomorrow when they face Senegal in their final Group C game. Bernard Ndong, who is in Cairo, Egypt, and now joins us live. Bernard, what can we expect even as we prepare for that match tomorrow?
Thank you very much, Gituko. I just had the slip of the tongue there, but it happens in live proceedings. Senegal is the big one tomorrow, Kenya versus the Teranga Lions. Of course, this is the third group game that Harambee Stars will be playing here at the African Cup of Nations. And I'm actually positioned in the media center of the 30 June Stadium, the facility that will be hosting tomorrow's big clash between the West African Giants and the East African Giants, as you would say it. But for the national football team, Harambee Stars, there was a press conference about an hour or so ago where head coach Sebastian just gave his outlook ahead of tomorrow's third game and decisive game, because remember, Harambee Stars secured a victory against Tanzania to revive their hopes of actually remaining in the tournament. They had kept the expectations limited in the beginning, but after that victory against their bitter rivals Tanzania in what we call the East African Derby, it gave them hope that perhaps they could go past the group stages and actually advance to the next round, because remember, it's the top two teams in the respective groups that automatically qualify, and then about four of the three best losers, and that is what Kenya could be targeting. So essentially what Harambee Stars needs to do is to triumph against the Teranga Lions and perhaps draw, and then they could have ideally one foot into the next round of the African Cup of Nations. What is fascinating as well is that head coach Sebastian just tried as much as possible to keep to limit the expectations as far as tomorrow's game is concerned, because he considers Kenya as an underdog and respects the might of the Teranga Lions, the Senegalese, led by their talismanic striker Sadio Mane. But let's hear what he had to say about tomorrow's game in the press conference that concluded about an hour and a half ago.
So many qualities, not only physically. The career of almost all the players in the team. Technically, they are there also. We have maybe one of the best players in the year this season with Sadio Mane. So we know it will be difficult, but it's a privilege for us to be there, to be able to compete against this kind of team. And I already told you, but we have nothing to lose tomorrow. It's only a pleasure.
Well, obviously, Gituku, the focus will be on Sadio Mane and how to be able to they'll be able to blunt his attacking prowess when they face off against this one of the top nations. If you look at the rankings in Africa, Gituku.
All right, Ndong, even as, of course, we watched that match between Kenya and Tanzania, and of course it was not an easy win for Kenya. Should you expect any luck this time round, even as you say that a draw would be good enough to take us to the round of 16?
Right, I think for Harambee Stars, as I mentioned at the beginning of this update, is that being considered the underdogs, for them the pressure is not necessarily on them, the pressure is on the opponent. And for the Senegalese, for head coach Cisse, he also spoke immediately after Harambee Stars head coach Sebastian had given his comments about tomorrow's game. He seemed much more focused in terms of how he wants to approach the game, because they lost against Algeria to, of course, reduce their momentum in this year's tournament by that solitary goal against the Algerians. Senegal, on their part, they are going guns blazing. That's what I felt when I was listening to that press conference. The head coach Sebastian Cisse, the head coach, I beg your pardon, Aliou Cisse, just giving his sentiments there, and he was very categorical and said, as much as Kenya could be considered the underdog, anything could happen in this year's tournament. You've seen the likes of Uganda pulling, of course, some of the big victories in the tournament, and it's also been good starting to progress to the next round. So for Senegal, tomorrow's game is a big one, because if they lose against Harambee Stars, the coach said that he wants as much as possible after tomorrow's game to be able to hold his training session to prepare for the next stage of the competition. So he's already envisaged a victory against Harambee Stars, but in this year's tournament, anything is possible. Harambee Stars pulled a first one. They went beyond expectations against Tanzania in the East African Derby, so anything could happen against Senegal.